October is upon us. You know what that means? Spooky, spooky skillet. Hello everyone, my name is Akib, and I got a video today here for you lovely people from the anime community. Now that you click on this video of mine, I'm going to introduce you some animes that I recommend for you guys to take a look and watch. And since October has arrived for a little over a week, I just had an idea on why not just recommend some animes that have a similar setting of the spooky upcoming Halloween month of October vibes to get yourself reeled in while watching these animes that I hope you may enjoy while the spirits of Halloween is upon us. And of course, this season of fall, there's been and planned animes that will be released this fall. And there's some like popular animes out there that are trending and floating around right now, such as Komi Can Communicate, Platinum End, as well as that one other anime that everyone's been talking about, Tact OP Destiny, that's being produced by the collaboration of two big studios, which are Madhouse and Mappa Studios. With all that mentioned, those aren't the animes that I'm focusing on, but instead I will show you other animes that you can watch right now and enjoy by either binge watching or enjoy it by your own pace. So with that in mind, let's get right into this, and let me introduce you to animes that you should watch and hope that y'all will enjoy.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Iruma-kun.
Alright, my first recommendation of a Halloween anime that you guys should watch is called Welcome to the Demon School, Iruma-kun. Alrighty, so this series, like most animes out there, originated from their manga or light novel counterparts. This series is published by Shonen Manga Magazine, Weekly Shonen Jump, which most of us who are into anime know what it is, which indicates that this series pretty much is showing anime. Although from my experience of watching this anime could be easily generalized as an isekai anime, where the setting takes place in a fantasy world, as well as having a sparkle of slice of life added to it, which this anime does tackle, and I'll get into that soon. Now with the genre given, let's talk a bit about the story this anime follows, and of course I'll try my best not to spoil too much information so that you may watch it if you're interested in it. This anime takes place in a fantasy world which is called the Netherworld, where the inhabitants are demons and the mythical creatures who live there. The world, as you can imagine, is different to Earth. In the Netherworld, there's of course demons who come in different shapes and sizes, appearance-wise, and they possess magic, wings, and some who look like animals. The main character is a boy named Iruma who's 14 years old. His character design looks like a blue-haired Deku from My Academia. The similarities are close, especially with their faces. I remember when seeing this character, I thought they were from the same studio that produces them, but the series is actually produced by Bandai and not Bone Studio that makes My Academia. With that, let's get into the plot. The plot of this show is pretty interesting to say the least, and will probably sound far-fetched once I break it down what it is. So without giving too much away, the plot stems from the main character Iruma, a 14-year-old boy who lived on Earth, and one day his parents decided to sell off their son for money to a demon. And as this news was brought to light to Iruma, he gets taken away by this demon who's named Sullivan. As messed up as it sounds happening to a 14-year-old boy, let's just say things will turn around for Iruma, at least for now. Iruma ends up in the demon's household, and it's explained that the demon Sullivan purchased him because he wanted to have a grandson. And something to know about Sullivan, he is a high-ranking demon and one of the most powerful demons in the Netherworld, to be acknowledged to become the next demon king of the Netherworld. Despite how terrifying that may sound for Iruma in his situation, Sullivan is actually over the moon to have someone like Iruma as his grandson. He spoils Iruma with gifts and praises him with compliments. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but Iruma now lives in a mansion owned by his new demon grandpa, where he's fed a lot of food, has his own big room to himself, and a butler named Opera, who's like a parent to Iruma, taking great care of him. Iruma is literally living in paradise and not a supposed hell. But here's where things get interesting, as Iruma is going to attend school in a demon school, which Iruma has to pretend to go to school like he's no other ordinary demon, because if he's ever spotted by someone that he's a human, demons in the Netherworld have a saying that those who are humans will be eaten. So Iruma has to try his best not to be noticed by the school, or at least not stand out. But you know, things still follow as planned, which makes each of the episodes interesting and not a hide and seek, antisocial, no interaction with anyone at school or not doing any school activities, because that would be boring, and this show is anything but boring. With that summed up, you may be wondering why Iruma doesn't drop out of school. And well, I don't know about you, but who the hell drops out of school at age 14? Plus, that's not Iruma's character to do something like that. Iruma's character, in a nutshell, he's a pushover cinnamon roll. He's someone who will help out others because he's that nice. He doesn't have any misbehaving traits, and whenever someone says the magic word please, Iruma's character cannot refuse such a request that involves the word please. And because of that, he's a wholesome and lovable character. And yeah, as I mentioned before, this anime does have some slice of life moments within the show that involves Iruma with a girl who they both attend the same school. Though as the story goes on, Iruma does seem to attract other characters who have some interest in him, and that's all there is to it. So pretty much this wraps up what the plot of the series is. A boy who got sold by his parents, who now live with his demon grandpa who purchased him, and has to go to school without anyone knowing that he's human. It's a great anime, and I highly recommend this anime to watch. It was that type of anime where it's a fresh breath of air that portrays this early 2000s anime design, better quality with this day of age. Also, the openings, the intros of the show are all very catchy, and I love the first opening of the series. I wish I could play the audio, but obviously this video will get copyrighted, but it's worth the look without a doubt. On a plus note, in the second season where it shows the show's second anime ending outro, where it's displayed after each episode is finished, the outro's visual has an art design and Halloween vibe, to which the song they put here just adds a cherry on top of everything. Even though the song itself is Japanese, you could tell it syncs with this anime ending outro, giving off this spooky Halloween atmosphere. And if you want to see the song itself, the link is down in the description below, and make sure to go to your screen and tap the captions option to see the lyrics in English. But definitely keep an eye out for this outro. In season 2, it's a must-see experience. With all that said and praised about this series, let's steamroll to the next anime entry of this video. In this second entry, as you just saw, this anime is called The Devil's a Part-Timer. Now, this anime, unlike the last anime I mentioned, is actually adapted by its light novel counterpart. Although both follow the same illustrations, a comic-like style format. Light novels in particular are longer than manga, as in like story-wise in their volumes. I know there's a bit more into it, though that's as much as I know to my prior knowledge. The plot of this anime is what the title applies here, The Devil's a Part-Timer. And with that plot mentioned, on to the next entry. I wish. There's still a bit more to talk about actually. The show here is a comedic show and falls under the genre as a rom-com anime, which pretty much is romance and comedy. And like the last entry, it's also a fantasy as well. The main character of this show goes by his human name, Mao. And yes, I just said human name here, because the twist here is his name is actually Satan. Yup, you heard it, the devil himself. Now, he doesn't resemble your typical big red monster like Satan that the West portrays him. He's actually taking form as a regular human dude, and he's accompanied by his roommate slash right-hand man general named Ashia. There's also 2 more characters to introduce, such as the protagonist, arch nemesis, Emilia, the hero, who goes by her human name, Emmy, which is very thoughtful. And there's the normal human in this cast who goes by Chiho Sasaki, who takes a liking to the devil himself, Mao, in this show. I wish I could give more brief info on how that came into fruition and the understanding behind that, but it will kind of spoil the show for you if you want to watch it. The plot here is as simplistic as the title of this anime, The Devil is a Part-Timer. Satan, or Mao, here works in a fast food place called McDonald's as a part-timer since he came to Earth with his general Ashia. They both live under a small apartment and have lost their powers since arriving on Earth. Since arriving to Earth, they made themselves new identities and live among humans while living like they're humans, living day-to-day lives and jobs. While dealing with the heckler Emilia the hero, who also lost her powers since coming to Earth, the three just try to make the most they could do with their new lives, as you can say. But the story does progress and become worthwhile, since, well, you know, Satan living on Earth does have a factor of being involved in events that occurred in the anime. Now, with that plot summarized, I want to say the length of this anime is pretty short. It's only 13 episodes long and easily binge-worthy. Also, I forgot to mention this, but this anime is scheduled to have season 2 coming up later in the future. There's already been a trailer released on it a while ago, in the beginning of this year about. Although it seems like, according to some articles out there, the season 2 won't come sometime until 2023. But if you still want to watch season 1, just give it a go. I'm telling you this since I watched season 1. I'll tell you this, that the ending of season 1 didn't end off in a cliffhanger. It ended off well, and if the series ended there, it wouldn't have been a bad wrap-up to the series, although with a lot of possibilities in the future. But thankfully, season 2 has been officially confirmed, so we just had to wait until then. And speaking of which, let's head on to our third and last entry of this list, which, by the way, this third anime right here has gained popularity since last year, and that anime is... Okay, well, this is the last entry, and you bet I had to put this anime on here. And what do you know, it's a show centered around demons. Wait, actually, now that I said that, all these shows have demon-related presence among them. Whoa. Well, I know that Demon Slayer Iruma-kun had demons in them, obviously. And The Devil's a Part-Timer isn't that much of a stretch from these two at all, now that I think about it. Damn, I'm kind of puzzled right now. However, the video must go on, so I know people out there, as well as myself, know this show gets carried heavily by its animation. And the storyline is kind of basic, but I do have hopes as a non-manga reader for Demon Slayer and what season 2 has to offer to us. As we know, season 2 is planned to have only 18 episodes to air compared to season 1 that had 26 episodes in total. Also, it may not seem convincing to some to not watch the first half of season 2, since from what the series schedule states, the first 7 or so episodes will cover the Mugen training arc that's already been animated into the Demon Slayer movie, which, by the way, when it was released, It became the highest grossing film in Japan's box office, since having a movie based on the series itself breaking all sorts of records when the film was out. It is a very convincing show, worth looking at. And yeah, since the anime is cashing in on this by airing the new episodes from the movie itself to its second season, it ain't definitely the first or last anime to do something like this. Those who may or may not know the Dragon Ball series did this in the past with the God of Destruction and Resurrection F movies that were released in theaters. But as years go by, when Dragon Ball Super came, they reused the first two films as a series, first two arcs. I guess you can say the real season 2 of Demon Slayer comes out on December 5th when the Mugen Train arc ends. But hey, it's all about the journey and not the destination, guys. You can watch the series on Netflix and Crunchyroll, and to watch season 2, you had to watch it on Crunchyroll. The show is worth to watch, and honestly, if you're new to anime or trying to get someone into anime, Demon Slayer is definitely the gateway drug into the anime rabbit hole. Now with all this wrapping up, let's head on to the next slide on So here are my final thoughts. I want to clarify that the way these shows were by no means consecutive order. These shows are, as I said before, worth a shot. I thought about the timing of going with a Halloween theme for the video that involves fantasy and demon beings. Brought on this idea to myself to make a recommendation video for what to watch during the month of October. If you guys are still unsure what series to start with, I would say give The Devil is a Part-Timer a shot since the series is short and it's a comedy and who doesn't like to laugh once in a while. The second option would be Demon Slayer, just to see how appealing the show is with its top-notch animation. And out of all the series mentioned here, it's definitely the most dark and serious one. As for Iruma-kun, that would be the last of the three, but that's only because the series now is a bit longer, but not by a lot. As of now, there's 2 seasons and in total are 44 episodes, which may be too much for someone to watch. Even so, in my opinion, this series is very good, that you'll want to continuously keep on watching each episode. The show definitely has potential, and season 3 has been announced for the series. And from what I heard from manga readers, that there's big things to be excited for next season when that comes out, and you bet I'm very excited for it. And if you're still here, thanks for sticking around, as this pretty much wraps up my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give this video a like. And if you want, consider subscribing to my channel for more anime content, and see you all next time, next video. Peace.